All right, welcome back, everybody. This is Crypto Rolly, the crypto watch that never stops. Live technical analysis, price predictions, and trading. So, Bitcoin today putting in a monthly candle close. So, we'll definitely take a look at that on the charts. Getting a little bit of a pullback, but after a 20% move is expected. So we'll break down the Bitcoin chart, talk about Bitcoin dominance compared to the altcoins. If you like these videos, smash that like, tick the bell for notifications, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, leave a comment, tell me how you feel about Bitcoin. All right, these are my own ideas and opinions on the market, so please do your own research, trade at your own risk. I am not your financial advisor. Looking at the market, Bitcoin, 24 hours, sideways. No. We had a pump all the way to 9,400 and coming back down a little bit. Profit taking should be expected. Your volume 3 billion right now, over 3 billion, looking good. You do see pullbacks, so 5% XRP, EOS 5%, 3% Tezos. So you are getting that pullback. The crypto fear and greed index all the way to a 44 last night and getting a pullback. So, the second people start getting exuberant, time to be cautious. Of course, we're in the neutral zone, technically still fearful. So it's not like we're greedy yet. But considering we were down here low for over a month, this is the highest we've seen it. So, people getting a little overconfident above 9K there, just the FOMO starts to kick in. So you have to, it's more safe to wait for, like if you get a large move like that, if you're going to get involved at the top of a pump, you got to be very careful, looking at really small time frames, ready to get out quickly. Otherwise, it's safer to just wait for a pullback, let things develop, chill out a little bit. Because like I say, people are starting to get a little confident there. I had someone unfollow me because I said that there was a resistance on Twitter. I said there's a resistance level at 9,100, and I wasn't saying we're going to get rejected at 9,100. I was just saying there was a lines of confluence and a potential target, and this guy unfollow and back down to 8,600 today. I went to look for his comment and it's been deleted. So I'm just saying, like, I don't know, people are crazy. Okay, anyways, block halving, 11 days away. So previous halvings, the price actually had sell-offs the month leading into it. This is the first time we've been pumping into the halving. But we had that massive sell-off from the pandemic, so that really kind of changed things. I think basically price returned back to its fair value. I think, we've been talking about this on the channel, that the BitMEX liquidation engine is really, responsible for pushing price as low as we went. I think, we should have had a dump that was natural with the global circumstance. However, it shouldn't have gone that far. So we have just completely retraced that entire move from March 12th. And looking to retrace the beginning of the dump was end of February. So good to see. Now, with the halving and the interest and the eyes on Bitcoin, we do have to talk about the Bitcoin dominance. We'll talk about that real quick first. Going to the daily. Now, look, we're talking about Bitcoin possibly being a global currency and savior to this economic crisis, recession that people are calling for. So the Bitcoin is going to be, of interest, not the small cryptocurrencies that people have never heard of. If they hardly know about Bitcoin, they're definitely not looking to put their money into some altcoins that they just really know nothing about. The first coin of interest is going to be Bitcoin. And so you have the halving hype around it. Also, Bitcoin is probably, I'm going to go out on a limb saying, the best performing asset, this year, considering, let's look at especially from the sell-off point, from down here to here, that's a 140% gain, okay, On the yearly, where did we start? We started here. Beginning of the year was here to there. We have a 36% gain on the year, even with the sell-off. So if eyes are starting to turn towards Bitcoin, all of that fresh money will go into Bitcoin, right? So looking at the dominance chart, if I go to the dominance chart, take off my moving averages, you can see with the pump in the past 2 days, the dominance rising, meaning it's outperforming the altcoins. The altcoin USD value has gone up as well, but not as much as Bitcoin. And this happened in the 2019 rally as well, where Bitcoin was just pumping and pumping, and people were looking for an alt season. You had a little alt season here, that's for sure, from about May to June. May to June, that was the best time to be trading altcoins. Otherwise, Bitcoin was the one to be in all the way through the beginning of 2019, and then after June, Bitcoin was also the asset you would want to be in. And it works both ways. Basically, Bitcoin pumps a higher percentage than altcoins, and, also, in a dump situation, the altcoins, if the dominance is rising, the altcoins are losing a larger percentage when they fall. And Bitcoin, say Bitcoin drops 5%, altcoins drop 10%, you're going to see the dominance rise. So if this continues to be the trend, people are going to be looking to jump into altcoins, and they may see a rise in USD value, but they're going to lose Satoshis. They're going to lose their BTC value. They would have done better not moving into the altcoins at all. And just as a quick example, if you look at Link, Bitcoin pairing, the two of them side by side, you can see that Link lost in BTC value. So it actually dumped. This is Link BTC. So you had a dump during that. That means you were better off holding BTC than Link. You can do the same thing with Ethereum, and BTC also had a sell-off, not a sell-off, but on this chart, a dump on the ETH BTC pairing. Again, would have been better to not trade ETH. Yes, you could have caught a little bit of the USD, but you would have caught more in BTC. All right, hope that makes sense, that if you move into altcoins while the dominance is rising, you're losing BTC value. If you're looking at your Satoshis, you're losing BTC value. So just keep that in mind moving forward, all right? So, guys, going over to the monthly, that's also something I definitely wanted to talk about today, because you will get that monthly candle close. So definitely important to see. You are putting in a potential, we have a bullish engulfing on the monthly, looking good. At 9,400, you were potentially going to put in a candle body high above this candle body high. Not looking like we will get that. So at this point, I just want to maintain above this open there, which the open was at 85.25. So 8,600 is the price. If the monthly can stay above 85.25, will be bullish engulfing. However, if it doesn't, it's not the end of the world, because we have other things to look at here. Your moving averages back, above the yellow 21 EMA on the monthly is pretty bullish. And then, we're looking to see today, do we close above the blue 10 simple on the monthly or not? The blue 10 simple's at 84.72. That's why I said above 85.25 would be nice. But then even nicer would be above 84.72. Okay, we want to get back above that on the monthly blue 10 simple. You can see how above it was very bullish in this entire rally before. Okay, so interesting to see there. And also we're looking to see if the stochastic on the monthly gets a cross up potentially, or at least a hint at a cross up. You are in the neutral territory, came down, tested it, could get a bounce here. And if this starts to rise on the monthly trend, very bullish on the macro. Looking at the stock market real quick, because everyone, was so bearish on Bitcoin because, the economic crisis, and very fair, very fair. But we are still in an uptrend on the S&P 500 until we get an actual big sell-off, dump lower low on the stock market. I remain bullish on Bitcoin. Can we get pullbacks in between? Of course, the same as you see on the stock market. But you can see here, we've hit that 200 EMA target we've talked about on this channel, and now you're just retesting some support. If you look at, this is a just pretty normal day here in the stock market. You can see how you had resistance level, resistance. You broke above it, came back, retested it, bounced, hit that resistance level, retesting. We're actually in a rising channel on the S&P 500. You can see, maybe I'll do the 1 hour, you can see a little better. So you're in that 1 hour rising channel. So I was thinking, and I'll show this, with the indicators real quick. If the stock market bounces here and maintains the rising channel, I believe Bitcoin will also maintain that 8,500, and maybe we can reattempt back at 9,100. Now, if the S&P loses this rising trend, comes back and retests maybe this support level here, that could line up with Bitcoin possibly retesting 8K support. Okay, so if we bounce here, S&P 500, Bitcoin will hold 8,500. I think, just my opinion, could retest higher, 9,100, 9,200. If we lose the rising channel, retest 8K, 7,800 on Bitcoin, where we saw that major breakout. Okay. The other thing to note while we're here on the S&P 500, we have officially, from swing high to swing low, Fibonacci retracement hit that golden retrace target. So we'll have to see, how we react. Can we, on the S&P 500, regain, this level? Do we close above and then attempt at the 0.786? That's going to be more bullish fuel for Bitcoin. Okay, but if this is the top, we'll see. But until it starts breaking these support levels, bullish on Bitcoin. Going to Bitcoin on the weekly. Let's go to Bitcoin on the weekly. This is where I've been establishing a lot of that bias. Basically, real quick, we've been talking about this for some time now, but you can see that we are above all moving averages on the weekly. Very nice to see. However, it could be next week's candle. If we can hold this level, maybe next week's candle, we retest the 50 EMA at 78.60. That's the level that we had the breakout from, so would make sense potentially. You can see back here when we finally broke above all moving averages in 2015, you had a very similar spike up, back, retested it, and then bounced off of them, and then maintained the yellow 21 EMA throughout that rally. So similar situation. We have pumped above all moving averages, potentially retest it, and looking for a bounce and stay above the yellow 21 EMA on the weekly would be very bullish on the macro. Bollinger Bands also above the middle BB. You have that support at 78.94. So again, if you retest lower, anywhere between 7,800 and 8K would still be bullish on the macro for sure. I've put out videos saying above 8K, I'm bullish. Now we lose that level, go back beneath 7,800. Maybe this was, just another lower high on the macro, high, lower high, lower high. But until that, I'm remaining bullish above 8K. And as long as the stock market doesn't dump, remaining bullish as well. You can see this on many levels. On the Ichimoku cloud, also of keynote was we are hitting this resistance here, the yellow baseline at 88.27, resistance at 88.27, and then we actually wicked up to the bottom of this cloud here, which acted as resistance. Cool to see how these things play out. Look, on the Ichimoku weekly, you had the resistance with this blue line at 71.75 for several weeks on end. Finally broke that. You hit there, finding resistance there. It all lines up. Bottom of that cloud there is 95.78. The top of the cloud, 10,748. Want to get above there on the macro, find support above that. Your weekly Stokes turned up, still looking good. Go into the daily. On the daily, we'll just stick to the moving averages. Your daily Stokes are high, potential cross down, so pullback wouldn't be out of the ordinary, especially after a major pump like that. Your RSI a little high, but if you go back in history, when we are very bullish, the RSI can go much higher for sure. You can see back here, especially during this rally, you go way higher on the RSI than we currently are right now. So a tiny pullback, but doesn't have to be a massive pullback for sure. So we are looking good, and the Stoke cross down is not the best indicator, when you are bullish. You can see back here, you did have a pump up, a little bit of a cross down, but it was just a sideways consolidation, cross back up and had another rise higher. Moving averages, you are well above all moving averages. Back above the 200 simple. You want to maintain that level. If we do come back down for support, it's at 79.78. So like I said, it wouldn't be a surprise to retest it, but you do have your blue 10 simple rising up sharply, crossing back above. If we can flag out here, possibly the blue 10 simple will come up and act as support, maybe get a bounce off of that. If you go to your 12-hour, similar, except for the blue 10 simple has already crossed above the pink 200 simple and will be rising to add support level. Your stochastic did cross down on 12-hour. RSI was high, but you could get a bounce, maintaining this bullish zone on the RSI. And same as the daily, it can end up just, crossing back above. You're getting that short-term pullback, but after a move like that, that's expected. Going to the 4-hour, on the 4-hour, also crossed down, also was high, but still in the bullish zone. Of key note here is, this going into the next 4-hour candle close. Do we close above or below the blue 10 simple? We did lose it, but we are, climbing back up. The blue 10 simple's at 86.77, price 86.59. Do we close above or below on the 4-hour? Looking like a pretty nice wick. So if you want to be if you would like to be more patient, you will wait to see if this closes above it. Potential long bounce opportunity. If it closes beneath it, I would be more cautious. The yellow 21 EMA at 83.29 becomes a higher probability. But this is a pretty nice wick here, so we'll have to see. Putting in these red candles, I'm going to wait for a little bit more of a confirmation. If you go to the lower time frames, though, I did this with the group live stream. I did notice, we're being held down by the yellow 21 EMA. So on a lower time frame basis, you want to break that, lower high trajectory. Get back above the yellow 21 EMA, maybe back above all these moving averages, breaking that downtrend. We were low on the RSI, and getting another cross up. So I was looking for, a little bit of a bounce here, because typically, you get, on low time frames, you will get a bounce or a rejection when the 15-minute RSI goes overbought or oversold. It doesn't mean it's going to be a reversal. It just means that you will get, relief in either direction possibly. So, watch for that on lower time frames. On the 1-hour, let's see real quick. On the 1-hour, finding support above the 50 EMA here at 85.31. Your Stokes are low, haven't crossed up. So we're going to see, one step at a time. If you're looking for a long, you have this resistance coming down on the blue 10 simple, yellow 21 EMA resistance. If you want to be more safe, close back above on the 1-hour, get a 1-hour, cross back up, and potentially, you're breaking that downtrend. You could potentially get another attempt at 9,100. All right. And that's pretty much it, basically. To summarize the video, the Bitcoin dominance rising, outperforming altcoins. So just keep that in mind. If your goal is to build more Bitcoin, more Satoshis, you could be losing Satoshis by trading the altcoins. So keep that in mind. Look at your dominance chart, look at your BTC alt pairing. And as long as the stock market is putting in higher highs, higher lows, I am not bearish. The stock market dumps hard on some significant global, fear news. Bitcoin could tumble as well. If the stock market holds that rising channel today, Bitcoin should probably hold these levels as well. And looking good. If the stock market dumps by end of today, maybe, or dumps tomorrow, Bitcoin could retest that 8K level. Okay, so that's that for you. Thanks again for watching. Go ahead and hit the like if you haven't, and leave a comment for me, and I will see you. The group link is still free for you. If you're interested, check it out. The link's down below. I'm doing live streams for the group. I have, market updates, Bitcoin charts, some trade calls, VIP chat. So definitely check that out if you're interested. And yes, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.